Naval Ravikant, and he changed my life forever. Here are 20 teachings from the wisest person of this century that will change your life forever. Now, the first one that what is shared here is: desire is your enemy. Desire is a contract you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. It's a bottomless pit meant to keep you enslaved. Now, this is very deep, and I only want to go into it. I just want you to ponder over it for a while. The next is: to lead a happy life, you must detach from your desires. The man who isn't content with little won't be content with more. And there is a short video here I'm going to play.
Most of our desires are picked up through society, what other people are doing, what my friends are doing, what my brother's doing, what my classmates are doing, what my wife wants, etc. So we copy those desires and then we make them part of ourselves and we drive forward. But really, what do you really need? I think deep down, nobody is doing it for themselves. Deep down, everyone thinks they're fighting for a cause or they're helping out some downtrodden person or it's for their family or whatever. But when it comes down to what you actually need, you need a little bit of food, a little bit of water, a little bit of place to put your head. We create these constructs of desire that we copy from each other on top. It's really important to sit down sometime, close the door, turn off the lights, and just sit there by yourself and watch your mind. Don't even judge it, don't even argue with it, don't even fight it, just watch the thing run out of control. Your mind is like a monkey that's running around flinging feces and throwing bananas everywhere. It's impossible to control. And ask yourself, how did I become like that? Because when you were a child, you weren't like that. Look at any 2-year-old. They're not like that. They live very much in the moment. They don't have constant, uncontrollable thoughts about the past or the future. And that's what keeps them happy. So how can you uncondition some of these things that you don't want anymore running through your head? It's possible, but it's different for everybody.
Sure.
It's possible, but it's different for everybody. Now, the next is number 3. Say no. Time is life's currency. That's why you must guard it like your most precious asset. The best way to do that is by saying no more often than you say yes. If you don't, you'll always be overcommitting. And there again, there is a video I'd like to play.
My mediocre superpower, if this qualifies as mediocre enough, would be having the ability to say no without feeling guilty. And I kind of feel like, especially now with AngelList, we're in this position where we've sort of taken on the mantle of trying to help all the startups. And you can't help all the startups. Most of them are not ready to be funded. Most of them do not deserve to be funded. You can't meet with them all. They all want to meet with you. They all want personal time. They all want personal advice. And you have to triage. And so you have to say no all day long. And when you say no, you just feel bad because that's, you're setting out to do the opposite. And so I'd just love to be able to say no without feeling bad about it. Make my day a lot easier. I end up in a lot of meetings that I feel guilty. I get guilted into them, but I really want to be in that meeting. I want to get out.
Your solution could have been a way for you to say yes to everything. Like you just want to be let off the hook.
Oh, yeah, but that would be a mediocre superpower. If you could say yes to everything, then that's a real superpower. Yeah.
I suppose.
Right.
How many meetings? Because you seem like a pretty blunt guy. I'm surprised you get guilted.
I've now gotten ruthless about killing useless meetings. I own the domain idon'tdocoffee.com. So I was a jerk for a while. I would say responses from Naval at idon'tdocoffee.com, and that was too much of a jerk. And I like coffee, and San Francisco is great coffee. So I still do a couple of meetings, but I really try and solve everything by email first. Say, look, if it can be solved by email, let's do that, because then you can help 30 companies in the same time period. You could have met one. Or if you can't do that, let's do a phone call. If you can't do that, then let's do a Skype. If you can't do that, let's do a meeting, and let's bundle them together as 4 of them in 1 hour. And just be very efficient, cut to the chase. And actually, Harsh Tagger from YC told me this, that when he shortened the amount of time that he spent in office hours, it got way more efficient. There's no time for someone to come in and kind of start doing the pleasantries. They know they have 15 minutes before the next guy walks in, so they're just more efficient. And I would say to startups, don't spend your time doing meetings unless you really, really have to. I really think networking is overrated. There's all these articles about you ought to network more, and this is how you do it. It makes me want to vomit, right? Go do something great, and your network will instantly emerge. If you build a great product, or if you get a good customer base, I guarantee you we will get you funded. You will not have to go take internal meetings, building relationships years in advance. All that meeting stuff you're doing, shaking hands, do it for recruiting, do it to learn from really, really smart people, but you got to make sure you have something to offer them too, otherwise you're just taking. But just sort of networking, if you're standing around an event with a name tag and a glass in your hand, then that kind of includes this event, now that I think about it. Sort of, you're doing it for entertainment. You're doing it because that's your leisure time. This is not your work time. This is your leisure time. Yeah, let's just be clear. For those of you who tell your coworkers, oh, I'm going to an important... No, it's not work. This is entertainment. If the beer and pizza didn't tip you off.
Which is, never stop learning. When you stop learning, you will stop earning. That is why you must develop an appetite for reading. Read what you love until you love to read. Read what you love until you love to read. Only dive into books that fascinate you. Learn for deep understanding, not trivia. Read with passion, not pressure. We move on to the next. Escape the competition through authenticity. Lean into what makes you different. The best way to stand out is by having specific knowledge, a skill set that is uniquely yours. No one can compete you on being you.
When I talk about specific knowledge, I talk about what I'm basically saying is figure out what is it that you were doing as a kid or as a teenager almost effortlessly that you didn't even consider a skill, but people around you notice, like your mother would know, your best friend growing up would know. And to give you examples, it could be sales skills, it could be that you're just musically talented and you just have the ability to pick up any instrument. It could be that you have an obsessive personality, so you would dive into things and learn them very quickly. It could be that you have a love for science fiction, so you were into sci-fi, you were into reading, which means that you absorb lots of knowledge very quickly. It could have been that you were playing a lot of games, so you actually understand game theory pretty well. It could even be, you were out there gossiping and getting into your friend network, and that might make you into a very interesting kind of journalist. But the specific knowledge is sort of this weird combination of unique traits from your DNA combined with your unique upbringing and your response to it. And it's almost baked into your personality and your identity. And then you can hone it. So for example, I love to read and I love technology. So I learn very, very quickly and I get bored fast, just like one of the commentators mentioned. I have that same issue. So if I had gone into a profession that required me to tunnel down for 20 years into the same topic, it wouldn't work. But because I'm in venture investing, which requires me to come up to speed very quickly on new technologies, and it kind of rewards getting bored because there's all the new technology comes along to evaluate, it matches up pretty well with my specific knowledge and skill sets. Yeah, so learning to sell, let's talk about sales skills, because this goes into specific knowledge. Sales skills are a form of specific knowledge. Really good salespeople, I think you can be trained, so it's not to say you can't learn it. But really, there's such a thing as a natural in sales, and you run into them all the time in the industry that I'm in. And when you meet someone who is a natural at sales, you just know that they're amazing and they're really good at what they do. That is a form of specific knowledge. Now, obviously, they learned that somewhere, but they didn't learn that in a classroom setting. They learned that probably in their childhood, in a schoolyard. They learned it negotiating with their parents. Maybe some of it's genetic component in their DNA. And you can improve. You can read Robert Cialdini. You can go to a sales training seminar. You can do door-to-door sales, which is brutal, but will train you very quickly. So you can definitely improve your sales skills. But a lot of sales is this specific knowledge that you learn just by doing, especially at a very early.
Incredible. To the next one, play the long game. All greatness comes from compound interest. Instead of switching jobs frequently, pick an industry where you can play long-term games with long-term people. When you earn their trust over decades, these relationships will compound. I'm not going to play the video here because it's going to make this video very long, but then there's so much wisdom out there. The next is use new leverage. There are only two types of leverage that let you scale without marginal cost: code and media. Code lets you command an army of robots. Media lets you command attention. If you want to be wealthy in the modern age, you must master these two: code and media. Now to the next, get rich slow. Get rich quick schemes are the fastest way to get poor. Ignore them. They only profit the people running the schemes, not you. To the next one, embrace accountability. Learn to take business risks under your name. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. When things go wrong, you'll get blamed. But when they go right, society will reward you with responsibility, equity, and leverage. Next nugget, seek wealth, not money or status. Status is your ranking in social hierarchy. Money comes from giving value to society. Neither is what you want. What you want are access to earn in your sleep and the freedom to say no. Only wealth can give you that. Next get, choose the right partners. Never partner with cynics and pessimists. Their beliefs are self-fulfilling failures. Instead, align yourself with optimist rationalists. Have a few deep connections over many shallow ones. Next target, productize yourself. The most successful businesses are those that are true reflections of their owners. Focus on what you naturally enjoy and are good at, then apply as much leverage as possible to scale. Without personal interest, you won't be able to do any of these. To the next one, reject most advice. Now this is really controversial. There is no such thing as universal advice. Most counsel is situational. When asked, people only give advice that fits their situation, not yours. That's why it's important to question everything. Choose discernment over blind adherence. Next, define your domains. Define your domains. Once you find your specific knowledge, always make time to invest in yourself. It is not enough to define your domain, you must also conquer it. Hone your skills with 100 mental models until you are the best in the world. Until you are the best in the world. And I'm going to link 100 mental models in the description below for those who want to hone their skills. Next nugget, supply at scale. Not all scarcity is created equal. To succeed, you must find out what society wants but does not yet know how to get. The secret to wealth creation lies in providing that solution at scale. To the next nugget, work hard on the right things. Not everything deserves your 100% output. Work hard only on important things that move the needle. Sprint intensely when inspiration strikes, then rest to reflect. Work in sprints, not marathons. I could play this, but then it's going to make the video longer. But still, I'm going to put a link to Harmony Haven's thread in the description. Spend time making the big decision. The 3 decisions you must get right if you want to be wealthy. 1. Where you live. 2. Who you are with. And 3. What you are doing. Getting these right automatically sets you up for a successful life. The next target, don't break your bad habit. Abruptly cutting out your bad habit is the quickest way to relapse. Instead of quitting cold turkey, find ways to substitute your vice with better choices. Don't drop, replace. A very good one. The next is own equity. No one ever created wealth by renting out their time. To achieve wealth, you must build or buy equity. The only scenario where you should rent out your time is while apprenticing. It's the only way to gain specific knowledge. To the next one, learn to be happy. The biggest mistakes people make is deferring happiness to the future instead of being happy now. Happiness is a skill that can be trained. Choose it at every moment. Practice the act of joyful living. Wow. Be ruthless. Lastly, Naval advocates that the best way to predict the future is to create it. If you want to know what the future holds, don't sit back and wait for life to happen. Instead, do the reverse and happen to life. Taking action increases the odds of success. That is why you must be ruthless in creating the future you want. Be the architect of your faith. So there are the 100 mental models I am going to leave in the description for you to also access and utilize for your life. Then I'm also going to leave Harmony Haven's handle in the description so you can follow him or her and we'll journey together. I'll keep bringing value to you as often as possible. Remember, this channel is all about the remote and virtual world of work, artificial intelligence technologies, and productivity hacking. So if you loved what you just enjoyed, that's funny what I just said, but if you loved what you just saw, hit the subscribe button and stay put for more. Thank you.